Hey, it's Blake here, and I want to talk to you about all these enormous changes I'm making in my sports cards business because there are two enormous ones. I haven't listed cards in months. I'm talking like since, the football, August. I do mostly football cards, that's why I like to do some hockey, but mostly football. So we are seeing a sales boost now with the Super Bowl, with Tom Brady retiring. I'm like making about $200 a month selling sports cards. And I haven't listed in 6 or 8 months, however long ago August was. A while ago, 6 months. But the reason I haven't been listing is not because there's not supply available. There is a lot of supply available. And like contrary to what's happening in video games or in clothing, if you resell and you know these things, which I do, that's my main income source. The cost of sports cards has been going down a lot. Like open sports cards, single stuff like that. For a while, it was like you're paying like a quarter per card, too much. Now it's down to like a nickel on auctions. Sometimes. Obviously, if it's full of great stuff and they promote that, different. But for the most part, prices are going down. But I didn't buy any cards because my inventory system is just garbage. It's absolute garbage. I'm going to go over and show you it right now and brace yourself because it's bad. It's very, very bad. And sometimes I'm spending like 20 minutes trying to find a card that I sold for $2, which is like, that's not how good business is done. So here's how it looks right now. And this is because a huge portion of these listings are off eBay. And they have to be relisted because my new inventory system. That's the reason why. And it's all based around this right here. This is an extra large PVC sleeve. You see how big it is? How much larger just compared to a card? Let me just grab a loose card. You see how big that is? Wow, look at that. Shannon Sharp fits, we can fit 2 of them in there. And that extra space allows us to put a label on the PVC card, a SKU. What I do with all my other stuff, you see these boxes around the warehouse? These are all skewed inventory. Batch skewing. A little bit different than what I do with sports cards, but the same concept. Where like on eBay, whenever I sell anything out of this box right here, it'll say 61. On the pick sheet for my inventory. And that makes picking inventory take like, a minute, less than that. Very, very little amount of time. As opposed to having to previously rely on either series, set, or player name. And like, listen, if you're super organized, you're just laughing at me. Like, oh, well, look at this idiot. He can't even keep cards in order. Yeah, I can't. I can't do that. I get things mixed up sometimes. But by having a SKU, on the actual like receptacle for the card, I'll take a photo of the card in this PVC sleeve with the SKU on top. I don't know how I'm going to print off the labels yet. I'm going to find a way to do that efficiently. Probably I'll buy them, maybe I'll figure out a way to like use my thermal printer to create like 1/8 inch strips and use some kind of razor or guillotine to cut them off that way. I don't know, but that's not a big deal. The big deal is that now I think I finally have a way to, in one step, take a photo and inventory the cards. No flipping it over, worrying about the number, no worrying about variations, because sometimes I also have a card labeled like Tom Brady, score 2021. Well, is it the Patriots variant or is it the Bucks variant? And then I have to go through and look at the listing, and it's not a good, at scale, it's bad. It's very, very bad. That's what we're doing. I haven't done it yet. I've just been thinking about it. Initially I was like, oh, I can do batch SKUs similar to all my other inventory, which is mostly video games, if you didn't know, and books and CDs and that kind of stuff. I could do batch inventory, and I could buy 100 card BCW, I think that's the brand name, cardboard boxes, and do it that way. I tried that, and still, going through 100 cards takes too much time. And then they get mixed up in these boxes. So what I was doing is I was doing the 100 card boxes, I was doing 15 of them in these boxes, and that's still like not a very efficient way. Then I thought maybe I can get like card sleeves and put them in binders and do it that way. That opens you up to a whole different problem with damage. And also, unlike this, which has extra space on the edges, there's no extra space on a binder card holder to put a SKU number on. This is fine. Now our final step is figuring out a way to store these in some kind of box. The 5,000 card 4-row, I think it's BCW or BGW. You know what I'm talking about. It's the 5,000 card 4-row boxes. Those don't fit in there. So do I have to now make custom boxes? Maybe. I don't know, but I'm not really worried about it. I mean, worst case scenario, I just figure out a container that somewhat fits them. And because they're going to be inventoried by SKU on the packaging, organization is going to be super easy. I can create the SKU cards in bulk. I can have my brother do it. He's stuck at home, can't drive. I can just give him 10,000 and pay him $100 to put all those labels on the sleeves, stuff like that. So it's I feel good about this. I think we're finally establishing scalable inventory that works for unorganized people like myself, and hopefully, if you want to follow along with the process, you're going to see me grow this system and adapt it to your own personal needs.